gentlemen, the Uncutt Podcast.
It really is the best entrance in podcasts.
Not too short, not too long, just right.
No, it's just right. It's like 5.5 inches worth of podcast glory.
Man,
Matt Minnick's on a black screen right now, so that's cool.
Dude, Matt, you're the rumor Matt Minnick was just banned from TikTok.
Matt Minnick, Love Panda 24x48, is a criminal, a bona fide, certified, just angry little man that's gotten banned from TikTok. It's terrible.
He's
but
upset.
Hey, man, while we're waiting on him to be a superstar,
can you hear me?
There you are, big time.
My damn Bluetooth hates me. All right, I'm still bear with me. I'm coming.
You're good.
I'm coming. I swear to God, I'm coming.
You're fine.
Let me disconnect off my other phone. Maybe that's
Trying
the
to
issue, 'cause
make
I haven't
that
been able to hear you guys at all.
He's trying to make that CM Punk entrance, I think.
Yeah.
God hates me. All right, I'm taking the Bluetooth out. We're going to just do this the all-natural way.
There you go. I'm not using mine either.
I apologize for all the technical difficulties, world.
Hey, you're fine. Speaking of CM Punk's back. Anybody hear about this?
I can't. Give me a minute. I'll be back. I can't hear you at all. I hate that.
I heard something about it. No, seriously, I watched it, dude. It's one of those things, dude. It's like if I wouldn't have watched it, I would have regretted it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a moment for sure, and really well produced. I gotta say, like, yeah. I mean, as happy as I was as a huge CM Punk fan that I am, it was so well done. And when Jim Cornette even comes out and says it's good,
right?
You know, like
you don't know. But what if he's just being cynical?
I don't think so. I think he was legit. But anyway, so CM Punk came back. SummerSlam was ass. Takeover was good. It was a wrestling weekend.
Yeah. I pretty much caught all of it. I watched all of SummerSlam, watched Friday night, and then I got to watch the last end of the NXT. I got to see the Samoa Joe versus Karrion Kross.
I got to watch Walter versus Dragunov, which is just a masterclass. If you like big dudes beating the shit out of each other, which works out perfectly with our guest tonight,
yeah, absolutely.
Go watch Walter and Dragunov just beat the shit out of each other.
Super heavyweights just going for it, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Dragunov's not a huge dude, but Walter, monster, so it works out good. Let's see.
I hear you.
You can hear me.
Hey!
All right. Well, now that you're here, I'm going to go ahead and let you sit down and get comfortable while I play the intro video for our guest tonight. Certified, bona fide, Southern indie legend, the strong style psycho, the deathmatch icon that is, ladies and gentlemen, Tank.
Good night.
Welcome.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Hey, man.
I apologize for the delay, bro.
You're fine. You're fine.
Dude, it's an absolute honor to have you on the show. Somebody I've been watching since like Wild Side back in 2001, 2002. So definitely to have you here.
That video was pretty cool. It was like some old school shit on there.
Yeah, man. That's our buddy TJ Vegas makes all the opening videos for the guys. Definitely some old Wild Side footage. I think I saw you with the sickle at one point. I think that was the War Games match. I had watched that a couple nights ago. So yeah. I'm going to ask you the first question we ask everybody. Everybody always wants to know who trained you, all that other happy horse shit. I want to know what the moment was for you when you knew you wanted to be a pro wrestler.
Well, when I was growing up, my dad watched wrestling, and I didn't really care for it. And so one night, I was sitting down in Georgia Championship Wrestling, and the Mass Superstar beat the shit out of Mr. Wrestling 2 and took his mask off. So apparently that shit never happened. And I watched it the next week, and then the next week, and then I was hooked. And that's how I got into watching wrestling. As far as being a wrestler, there weren't many places to train around Chattanooga. We had this one place that Paulie runs. Everybody knows he's a dickhead.
Paulie.
That fucking piece of shit.
That's our first Paul Lee reference. If anybody doesn't know Paul Lee, just Google it. It's amazing. The Nature Boy Paul Lee.
He's a turd. I got some funny stories about him. Anyway,
We'll
he was
get
the
there.
only wrestling school, and I ran into a guy named Rawhead Rex and Richie Dye, and there was a group of us. We went down to train one night, and they beat shit out of us, and I was the only one to go back. So I guess they were like, well, we'll train you. I had my first match like 6 weeks later.
Wow.
That's the most Southern indie story possible. They're like, he keeps showing up. Maybe he'll bring his family.
You want to go?
Basically, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Well, so I got a 2-part question. First off, how long have you been a pro wrestler? How long have you been doing this?
25 years. I started in 96.
25 years in the business. So I guess the second part of that question is, since you've been doing this, how have the new crop, the new generation of wrestlers changed from when you started in the business? Do you see them being more dedicated, expecting more? What's your thoughts on these new crops of new wrestlers?
I quit in 2017 because I was bitter and I hated all the new guys.
Wow.
They were disrespectful. A bunch of them just assholes. So I just walked away. And then my 4 years off, or 2.5, 3 years that I took off, I saw like a new crop of young guys. I was like, yeah, I want to wrestle this guy, and I want to wrestle this guy. And the respect's back. When I quit, there's a lot of guys out there now who wouldn't have lasted a year when I started. Because back in the day, you fuck up, you got your ass beat. Now, if you do that, you'll get canceled, or you're called a bully or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I was trained by some old school guys, and when I started, I was wrestling guys like Gypsy Joe, who beat the dog shit out of me, and just kept fucking coming back like a dumbass. Yeah, he beat the hell out of me one night in the gun bowl. I was like, yeah, fuck this, I'm quitting. I've been wrestling like a year. And then come to find out it wasn't. He's shooting on me, he shot on me, and then I found out no, that's just how he is all the fucking time. I was like,
Mr. Hit Me Harder motherfucker himself.
Yeah, man, this dude, he hit me in the back of the head with a bat. I had to get 9 staples. So I freaked out, and I'm trying to pretty much get away from him. And I'm punching this dude as hard as I can in the face where his left eye is swelling shut. And he's saying, "Hotta, motherfucker, hotta." I'm like, man, there's something wrong with this guy.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Sorry.
And then,
No, you're good. So I want to piggyback off of what you were addressing with your second part to Robbie's question there. When it comes to a lot of the new talent that you're watching now, who's some of those names where you're like, you know what, I think he would have fit in back then?
Murdoch. Murdoch's been around a while, John Wayne Murdoch. Yeah. So he would have been a perfect fit for when I started. And Reed Bentley, he'd have been a perfect fit. These guys have been around a while, but I'm talking about if they would have started in 96 for me, they would have fit in just fine. Masada, he's been around forever. I'm just talking about the guys now. Eric Ryan, he's another one. there's quite a few guys that would have fit in, but there's quite a few that would have pushed out after a couple of ribs or getting their bag shit in or something.
Natures of the business.
Yes, and that shit does happen.
Yep.
I've never shit in anybody's bag, but I've seen it happen. So
Randy Orton has.
I have never once pissed on anyone's mask. Never once. Anyway, but that being said, you brought him up, and I wanted to wait, but now my brain won't let it go. I want to hear your favorite Paulie story.
Okay, I got a couple of them. I used to wrestle for him. Once I started wrestling, I started doing shows for him, and he was paying me, $20. And at the time, it was pretty fucking good when I was making $5 here or a hot dog there. So, and then one night, I mean, the crowd was the same, and he gave me my envelope, and there was $5 in it. So I told him I quit. And he was all like, "Don't quit." I was like, "Fuck you, I quit." And about a month later, he calls me at like 6:30, and somebody had canceled on him. He wanted to know if I could come down and do the show. And I was like, "Yeah." I go, "But I want $50 as soon as I walk in the door." And he goes, $50? I go, "Yep, or I ain't doing it." He goes, "All right, no problem." So I get in my car and I drive to Ringgold, which is about 20 minutes away. I get there and he hands me a $50 bill. I stick it in my pocket. I'm talking to some of the boys. He goes out to cut his every night promo, and while he's out there cutting his promo, I just grabbed my shit and I went back home.
Attaboy.
And then his son, Lex, he started wrestling. He's a little douchebag too. I don't know how he is. I don't know how he is now, but a few years ago, he was a prick. We had words on Facebook. That Facebook drama, his show against our show, yada yada yada. And Paul he kind of intervened and was like, "No, next time I see you, I'm gonna kick your ass." And I was like, "All right, buddy." I was booked on a show with him at Six Flags, and I come out of the picture, and Paulie's standing right there. So I'm like, "Oh hell yeah, we're fixing to fight, man." This dude just was like, "Hey, Tank, how you doing, buddy?" And shook my hand and tried to hug me, and I was like, "Good God, what the?" But there was a video circulating around of a buddy of mine sticking the arm of his robe. It was in his ass crack. Then they put fish all over it. I wasn't.
These are my kind of
wasn't
people,
there.
Nick.
I know.
They really are.
Robbie, you love Southern Indies, man. I'm telling you.
I wasn't there, but I got the video like 5 minutes after it happened. I was like, "This is the greatest thing ever."
Well, this question might segue from that last question, but it's if you could gut punch anybody in the wrestling business, past, present, or current, I guess current is present, who would it be?
Anybody?
Yeah, if there's anybody who's got to come and Tank.
I didn't hear the first part of the question. I'm sorry, you kind of cut out.
Oh, if you could punch anybody, basically, if you could knock anybody out, who would it be?
Oh shit!
Gut punch, kicking the balls, pick your euphemism.
I'd rather just hit Paulie over the head with like a bundle of light.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And like shove a gusset plate up his ass or something.
I watched somebody take a gusset plate to the dick, and yeah, that poor guy. So my next question that I'm going to have for you is, with the way that the business has transitioned from the 90s to now, what would be a piece of advice that you would want to give somebody that's looking to possibly get into the business?
Don't. No, I'm just kidding. No,
You're an honest man.
Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. No, it's just listen to the veterans. That's the problem with a lot of the younger guys when I quit is they would ask for advice and I'd be like, "Okay, blah blah blah," then they'd want to fucking argue with me about it, and I was just like, "Okay, I'm done." Or
what's the point?
Yeah, they'd be like, "Hey, can you watch my match?" And I'd watch their match, and then I'd be like, "Hey," they were like, "But what if I but?" And I was like, "Just shut the fuck up. I'm done."
Yeah, don't ask for advice if you're not going to take it. That's my pet peeve in life. I think one of them.
Oh yeah, that and constructive criticism, man. These guys would cry, be like, "Yeah, that stuff was kind of silly. Why did you do all this to do a drop kick?" Well, it's just cool looking. I was like, "No, that's fucking stupid. Just do the
Yeah,
fucking drop kick."
it's an easy business. You don't have to make it that complicated. It's always my big complaint when I watch stuff lately is like everybody wants to do 100 things to go into an arm drag. Just do the fucking arm drag.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
seriously.
I was messing with this kid one night. I was working him, and I go, for the finish, I'm just going to give you a vertical suplex. And he goes, "A what?" I go, "A vertical suplex." Man, I was like fucking Harley Race used it years ago. He goes, and he goes, "Well, how are we going to go into it?" I go, "It's a goddamn suplex. I'm just going to grab you and
hook
fucking
and
do
lift.
it." He was wanting to do like a big, ring around the rosies to get to his spot. I was like, "No, I'm just going to give you a fucking suplex," which I didn't do it. I think I ended up curb stomping him or something.
Yeah. So I've seen you do a lot of death matches lately. Obviously, since you've been back, that's been a lot of your cool stuff with ICW and TWE against Logan Creed, or the
Cool.
other Logan Creed gimmick.
Yeah.
But you've taken everything, man. Like the gusset plates and the light tubes, the whole shit. Is there anything on the tank will not fucking take this list?
I don't want to fuck with fire or
Makes
cactus.
sense.
I did cactus once, and they were like stuck in my leg. The barbs were, and I was like, "Yeah, fuck this, I'm done." And I'm not a huge fan of glass. A lot of these guys, they like to go out as soon as the fucking bell rings, just light tube. If I do glass, I like to try to set it up for like a finish, something big. Like
Yeah.
with Sawtooth Jen, I did the pane of glass, and he did it to me the next night. With Casanova, I did the light tube door. I think the glass is the big thing, but the gussets, man. At first I was kind of like, I don't know about this, but now I'm sticking them in my arm or whatever. I ain't got a problem with that. Just don't do it to my head because I'm bald and I can't hide that shit.
You got to go back to the real world the next day at some point.
Exactly. There's this one guy. He goes, "Can I headbutt a gusset plate in your head?" And I was like, "Just stick it in my arm because I have a real job. And I can't go to work looking like a fucking idiot."
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to explain to people when you show up all carved up and dug up in the face.
Oh yeah, when I did the ICW in Indianapolis, my arm got mangled up pretty good, and I had it bandaged up. And they were all like, "What happened?" I was just telling them silly shit. My cat went crazy, or I ran into a fence, or some bullshit.
The drill got away from me.
Yeah, because if I say, "Well, I went through a pane of glass wrestling," they're gonna be like, "You're a goddamn idiot." I go, "Yeah, I know."
So there's a question I wanted to ask, and I was going to ask the same question to John Murdoch, but I didn't get the opportunity. Blading and death matching do you guys blade at all, or is it just blunt force trauma?
Me, I blade.
Oh yeah, or everybody, kind of like what's the consensus? The guys do both?
A lot of the newer generation, they just want you to hardware them with a gusset plate or a broken light tube. And I tell guys, I'm like, you just place it on my head and I'll do the rest. I don't want anybody cutting me for real.
Yeah.
Okay, people got nerve endings and stuff, dude.
Yeah.
So
a lot of these guys, some of these guys don't even know how to fucking blade right. Poke and twist, brother. Poke and twist. I got to do.
Yeah, you see all these guys. I've seen a lot of them too, where it's just like the most over the top, like, "Hey, look what I'm doing."
Oh yeah,
I'm doing it, Dad.
I know that ICW indie show. They caught me. It was pretty embarrassing because I'm pretty good at it. And then I was watching it. And I was like, "God damn!" They didn't even take the camera off of me the whole time. I'm just fucking going down. And then you can see me throw the gig under the ring. I was like, "Well, that was, God damn it."
So I've always wanted to ask you about this. We talked before that me and you were supposed to be on a show together a few years back, and it was right after the incident happened. Now I've got you here. I want to hear about the Mike Levy incident. I know you've probably been asked about it a million times, but
man, all right. At the time, IWA Mitch, I was doing the curb stomp. I would go out and curb stomp the guy cleaning the fucking ring. It was just more of a funny shit. People would laugh. And Ian, he beat the fuck out of Mick here. They beat the fuck out of each other. And I was like, let me go out and curb stomp him. He goes, okay. So I run out to curb stomp him, and I didn't know Devin Moore was behind me. So I was like, what the hell is going to happen here? So I was going to curb stomp him on the ladder, and Devin Moore just jumps off, and boom. I was like, holy shit. I go, you can't one-up me, motherfucker. So I climb up, and I curb stomp him. And if you watch the video, if I was trying to hurt this dude, I would have killed him. You know, I damn near broke my ankle protecting his stupid ass, you know. And the only bad thing about all that was I'm the one that took a lot of the brunt of that whole ass beating that he took, and it was wrong. I look back now, it was very, very shitty. At the time, I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty fucking cool. But yeah, it was wrong, and I've spoken to Mike Levy a couple of times, and each time I see him, I've apologized. I was even going to do a show and put him over, but I don't even think he wanted to do that. I was like,
that was definitely a wild time.
It was crazy. It was, like I said, it was bullshit. It was wrong.
I know. Even me and my trainer Mike, who you know, like we even had words over it because like he was like, no, they beat the shit out of that kid. You can watch like when Ian hit him with the chair at the end, and you watch his legs go out from underneath him. I was like, the kid shouldn't have fucked up. And then he was like, no, you got to understand. And of course, I was young and dumb. I didn't know any better. I was like, no, he fucked up. That's what you're supposed to do. He goes, no, that was too much. He's like, it could have ended after the curb stomp.
Yeah, that was a gang beating pretty much, you know. And like I said, that was 2008.
Yeah.
So 13 years ago. And like I said, at the time, it was like, oh, yeah, this was pretty awesome. But now I feel like a big fucking turd about it.
So, Tank, you're a big dude. When you look at the big wrestlers that have graced wrestling over the years, what are your thoughts on some of the big names like Andre the Giant, King Kong Bundy, guys like Big Show, and what are your thoughts on the bigger wrestlers?
Oh man, they're awesome. I mean, Andre. First time I saw him live, I guess I was like 9 years old, and it came to Chattanooga, and I was like, holy shit, this is friggin' awesome. And Big Show was cool. We got to do a Raw taping. Me and some of my buddies were the security guards that got beat up by DX. And Big Show came in late, and he was pissed off. He was hungry. And I sat and watched this man eat an entire jar of peanut butter and drink a gallon of milk. And I was like, holy shit. So, funny story. We're in the gorilla position, and it's all of us security guys, Big Show, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Vince McMahon, Fit Finlay. Well, Big Show rips a fart, and he points at me. He goes, he did it. And Fit Finlay's like, you nasty bastard. So we're all talking about this fart. And Vince McMahon goes, will you shut the fuck up about the fart? That was fun. Fun time. Getting cussed out by a big man.
So, who are some of your favorite people that you've worked since you've been back?
Since I've been back, John Wayne Murdoch.
Yeah,
he was great, and he just, when Danny told me, he goes, "I'm gonna put you in with Murdoch," I was like, "Are you sure?" I've only had 3 matches since I've been back. And he goes, "Oh yeah, man, it'll be fucking great." And it turned out pretty damn good, I thought.
Yeah.
I worked Manders on the Tony Deppen Beer House show in Tampa. I thought that was pretty awesome. Neil Diamond Cutter was awesome. I I've worked a couple of young guys at TWE in Chattanooga. There's a kid named Tony Evans and Noah Hossman. They both did really good. Pretty much every match I've had since I've been back, I've been happy with. We had another one. It's on IWTV, a match I had with this kid. It's Ron Bass's son. Ron Bass
I
Jr.
just watched that match this weekend, actually.
And
Outlaw Ron Bass?
Yeah, Outlaw Ron Bass.
Yes.
It's Ron Bass Jr., brother. You got to check this kid out.
Oh
I
yeah,
was going to tell you about him after the show. I knew you'd appreciate that.
I love his old man's work. I don't think he gets brought up enough in the old when people are talking about old school '80s wrestlers, dude. I don't hear a lot about Ron Bass.
Yeah, but we were in Indianapolis. He actually had Ron Bass's his daddy's bullwhip, and I was like, dude, I'm holding something that's just fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I always liked Ron Bass. As I was growing up, and he was a big dude, burly, beat the shit out of people. But the match we had, I thought was real good. I was trying to make him look like a monster. He's like 6'5", 400 pounds. He's a big kid.
wow.
Yeah, I had seen him at the Future Showcase. I watched his match on that, and I was like, that dude's huge. And then I didn't realize just how huge until I watched his match with you.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, Tank is looking up to this guy.
And I thought the match went pretty good. I caught him with a back fist or my little backhand slap. I slapped the shit out of him. I was like, oh, fuck. I go, feed me your neck. He fed me his whole fucking head. I was like, okay.
So Tank, you're what? I think I looked you up. You're 6'1", about 400 pounds. At least that's what you were at that point in time.
I'm
big
358.
You're a big dude, man, a big presence. You don't got to say a lot. But what is your approach to the promo? In this game, it's always about mic skills and ring skills. What do you think about when you grab that mic?
I don't talk. I have a manager, the Reverend. He does all the talking for me.
Oh, gotcha.
My promo suck. I just sound like a fucking heck. I'm gonna whoop your ass next time. I've always had Dan or had Al Getz at Wildside. I'm just not a very good promo guy.
It's like, people say a lot about Brock Lesnar is not a very good promo, but like I've heard Brock Lesnar talk, dude, and I don't think he's a horrible talker. I think when a big guy talks, I don't know, you listen.
Yeah, I get my words all crossed up, and I just sound like a dumbass sometimes. That's why I have a manager. And we're kind of a package deal. I mean, he does all our promo work, editing, and he's good people.
Yeah. Well, when he's doing a promo, what are you doing? Just kind of menacing?
I just stand there and try to look mean. So he'll usually say something that'll make me laugh, and we'll have to cut and start it over. Like when we did a promo for Manders, I always tell him, I'm like, make sure, give me a heads up if you're going to say something funny. And he cut one on Manders saying, I've killed more cowboys than Marlboro Reds, and I just fucking lost it. I was like, Jesus Christ, that was awesome. And then
so to that end, go ahead.
And then I'd like for him to put out a video of all our outtakes and fuck ups. We did one for the Scenic City No Hold Barred Challenge, and he goes, I'm gonna cut you from ear hole to asshole, and I busted out laughing. And I told him, I go, please don't say asshole, please don't say asshole, and he did, and I just fell out.
To that end, I think you and the Reverend are definitely one of the more established kind of pairs on the indies, because I know that's something I've been watching you guys for years. Do you think that there's a lack of managers these days? Do you feel like that's kind of a lost art, that there aren't a lot of people that want to do that anymore? Because that was my main thing when I was still in, was I loved being a manager. I love talking and just getting heat, and I take my one bump every 3 months. But
yeah, Dan. If you've heard his promos, he's awesome, and they're just not out there anymore. Like guys at Wildside, we had Jeff G. Bailey. I mean, one of the best talkers ever.
Yeah.
And then you had Dan and Al Getz was a good talker. Like I said, that's why I always had somebody with me because I couldn't talk for shit. But like the only time I would cut promos myself is if they were like funny. You know, I couldn't ever be real serious and be like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you, blah blah blah. But to get back to the managers, yeah, the manager is a lost art. I believe, and Dan's a fucking good one.
Yeah. Dan was definitely somebody I watched like when I was coming up. Like it was always like, okay, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna watch tapes and you're gonna learn how to fucking talk by watching Dan and Jim Bailey. So
Yeah, they're the best ones to learn from. We did a promo for the John Wayne Murdoch match, and we did it outside the TWE building. There was 5 or 6 young guys out there, and we got the promo in one take. And this one kid came up and was like, dude, that gave me goosebumps. And I was like, well, that's promo lesson 101 right there. You want to learn how to do a promo, talk to this guy.
Nick, I think you were up.
I just asked him about the lost art of managers.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
got this way.
Oh, by the way, Matt had something come up, so he may be back. He may not. I'm not sure. For anybody that's listening and is wondering why Matt isn't talking, he had something come up. He just messaged me. It's like, yeah, personal. But for anybody that's wondering why Matt isn't talking, it's because Matt's not here.
I believe it has something to do with TikTok. I may be wrong, but
not exactly. But okay.
All right, Tank, in principle, is it in the wrestling business, is it easier to ask for forgiveness or permission?
Oh, forgiveness.
Yeah, I figured that was that. I figured that one was it.
Yeah, there's been plenty of times, you know, they're like, no blood, and I'd get it any fucking way and be like, well, goddamn, you ran my head into a ring post. You know, what'd you think was going to happen? Okay.
So, what were some of the opponents that you had coming up? Because I mean, obviously, Wildside, you worked AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm.
I remember distinctly you had a match with Samoa Joe. I know that wasn't Wildside, but I know you had the match with Joe. That was IWA Mid-South. Who were some of the guys that you worked and they were really good, but they never made it, that you feel like kids these days should be watching and maybe learn something from?
Oh man, he kind of made it. He was for TNA quite a bit. It was David Young.
Yeah,
he was phenomenal. Rick Michaels was another one from the Wildside days. He just got hurt his back real bad. He'd have probably got a job with TNA if he wouldn't have got hurt. Because a bunch of us went up there when TNA first started. You know, we were kind of hanging around trying to get spots or whatever.
yeah. Because you worked a lot of the fairground shows, right?
I worked one. It was me and Scotty Wren worked with David Flair and Brian Christopher.
It's a random ass match.
Yeah.
As in too sexy, Grandmaster?
Yes. Yeah, he was a dick too. Like we were trying to go over the spots or we were trying to talk it over, and he was just being an asshole. So when I clotheslined him right in the fucking mouth. I was just like, I don't give a shit. I ain't coming back. And we kind of had words in the back. And I'll never forget, Conan was standing there, and the Sandman was fucked up, sitting in a chair. He woke up long enough, said, I got $50 on the fat kid. So that was pretty funny.
That's awesome, man. That's totally cool. So let's talk about overzealous fans, man. We know that fans are passionate. They go to these shows and they want to be a part of it. You have any instances where a fan has crossed the line, maybe not at the venue or maybe out at a bar or you see them at a restaurant? Any fan stories you can share with us?
Not really. Everybody's always been pretty respectful. I did run into a kid because I live in Chattanooga. We were in Toledo, Ohio, with my wife's family lives up there. And a kid came up to me at a mall. Was all like, "Oh man, I love your IWA stuff," and I thought that was cool. And I just got noticed, 500 miles from home. But never anybody just like stalking or this. I mean, there's sometimes some fans that kind of be a little annoying. Just like, you're trying to think of your match. I mean, I'll try to sell shirts and I try to be nice to everybody. Don't get me wrong, but some of them I'm just like, okay, you gotta fuck off. I got shirts to sell, you know. But,
that one guy that just wants to ask you every question under the sun.
Yeah. This one guy came up to me. I was at an honor a few weeks ago, and he was like, he goes, I guess he thought I was Tank Abbott or something. I don't know. He was all like,
his name wasn't Cody Hunter. He didn't have a lisp, did he?
no.
Okay.
He was an older fella, and he was all like, he goes, when's the last time you wrestled Ric Flair? And I was like, never. Oh, okay, and just walked off. I was like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, there's like, there's different people out there with different things going on.
Yeah. Then I had a lady at Scenic City was like, when you going back to Impact? And I was like, I've never been to Impact.
So I'm going to try to not ask this question too specifically, but I think you're going to know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of people these days that want to cancel certain wrestlers.
Yeah.
And some of it's through fault of their own. They do stupid shit and they get canceled. What's the line where you have a guy that the internet cancels? They don't want him on shows anymore. At what point can you put that person back on the show? You see what I'm saying?
What are you saying, Nick? Like, because they cross some kind of line, like
they do something to piss off the internet. I think Tank probably knows what I'm talking about.
Just like something. I think I know where you're going.
There was an ICW incident this week. And that guy who I'm a fan of, I'm not going to name his name because I don't want our show getting canceled. But
thank you, Nick.
A guy who I'm a fan of who did something stupid ends up having to lose a major booking because of something stupid he did. Can you as a company bring that guy back in 2021, or is he just done? And is the company then going to suffer because of that?
I hope they don't suffer because they use me, but
right.
Maybe not this year. Maybe, give it another year or so. I don't know. That's one thing Dan's always telling me, that don't say stupid shit on Twitter.
Right.
Because or Facebook, because years ago, man, I would rip people apart, and now I'm Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah, I remember the old days of you just shitting on new school psychology.
Oh yeah.
Or lack thereof, I guess.
I call everybody a shitbird was my thing. It was like, if you do this, or if your parents drop you off to wrestle, you might be a shitbird. I would just come up with different stuff, and I just keep my mouth shut now because you piss off one person, they could lead a charge against you.
Yeah, it's like the blue check mark mafia of Twitter will ruin you. Like, I mean, yesterday on Twitter was not a place to be an independent wrestling fan.
No.
Depending on what side of the fence you were on, I guess.
And honestly, I try to stay out of that shit. And I'll go to Twitter to look to see if anybody's, tagging me in something or retweeting something. And Dan hit me up and was like, yeah, so-and-so, he's booked. And I was like, well, that's cool. And then it wasn't 10 minutes later, it was yanked, It
was the firestorm. Yeah, I mean, within an hour, it went from the match got announced to the match was canceled and everybody was shitting on everybody.
That's quick.
So, yeah, I just stay out of that. I just stay out of that shit.
To that end, let me two-part this one, Robbie.
Oh,
do you think social media is too much of an influence now? Or is it just the nature of the beast in 2021 that's where everybody gets their information? It's not a lot of flyering towns. It's what can you put on Twitter? What can you put on Facebook?
Yeah, it's just this day and age now. I mean, I used to get on the guys. I mean, like not too long ago, they'd be working an angle at our show, and then they're fucking out in a bar, taking pictures of each other, posting them on Facebook. And I would get hot. I was never a booker, but I would be like, dude, don't do that shit. Well, everybody knows it's bullshit. I go, well, then get your shit, get the fuck out. If you think it's bullshit, then leave.
Wow.
But now, man, you really got to have a Twitter following to get over. You know what I'm saying? I was always against that, but now this is how it is.
It's like kind of like a double-edged sword, man. That's like stuff guys didn't have to put up with or deal with, 10, 15 years ago. And now, like you said, it's the mechanism to promote. It's to reach fans. So it's like it's a necessary evil, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know in Chattanooga, you don't see like TWE. They just promote through Facebook and Twitter, Instagram. I mean, yeah, I don't go around like when there used to be like 3 or 4 shows around here. There'd be posters all over the damn place, and store windows and gas station windows and on telephone poles. You just don't see that shit no more.
Flyers, yeah, just the old school kind of way to publicize stuff. Let's see here. I just had a question and it just evaded me. Women's wrestling. Thoughts on women's wrestling, intergender matches. You a fan of it? I'll give you an opportunity to maybe piss some people off. No, I'm just kidding.
Why this question? If you've ever read any of my old Facebook posts, you'll know that I do not like intergender wrestling. Unless you're Mickey Knuckles, because she hits like a dude.
I've heard that before.
That's the only thing.
I'm not saying future guest of the podcast, but
oh man, Mickey's awesome.
I love Mickey.
I did have an intergender match with her, and I think we did a couple of tags against her, man, Iceberg, with her and Ian. They were fun, but like she wasn't like a normal girl, I mean, she was brought in through the IWA, and Ian beating the shit out of her, and Hero stretching her, and Punk stretching her, and she earned her fucking stripes. I just get into a guy my size wrestling a girl that weighs 130 pounds, and it's a 50-50 match. That's just. But then you got people. What about Ronda Rousey? I'm like, well, I just keep my mouth shut about it now. But there's another girl in Georgia I want to wrestle. Her name's Angelus Lane. Have you heard of her?
Oh yeah. Ooh.
I've been
Nikki likes.
I got goosebumps thinking about that one.
I've been
Angela's Lane is insane, dude. I love her.
I've been calling her out, so hopefully it'll happen sooner or later.
That'd be good shit, man. I watched her and the guy who I'm not going to talk about
in Tampa.
In Tampa, yeah.
Yeah, I was there, and I was like, yeah, I think I want to fight her. Yeah, she's tough as nails, and then she came to the back, and I was like, that was awesome, because it's another whole story, the whole Tampa trip, and I was like, if I'm sticking around long enough, I'd like to, do something with you. So that'd be a fucking honor. So I've been trying to get in Matt Griffin's ear, who runs Action, or anywhere, any place in Georgia. I mean, it can be anywhere. I don't care. I just think it'd be fun. Because he's like the new age Mickey Knuckles.
That's high praise.
Yeah.
And I think fairly well deserved, to be honest. I could see that for sure. So besides Angelus Lane, who else is on the checklist? I mean, I don't know if this is the last run, but on the run that you're having now, who's on the checklist of people that you want to face?
Oh man, Kurt Stallion or Stallion Rogers, whatever the hell he's going by now.
Right.
I've always liked him. Anthony Henry. Never had a one-on-one with him.
Yeah. Love that guy.
Justin Kyle.
Oh.
Dan Moss.
Okay.
Me and Dan, man, we hit it off real good in Atlantic City for Boardwalk Buds. We were just sitting there shooting the shit. We're like, yeah, we got to fight sometime before I give it up for good.
That's a match I'm surprised never happened along the way.
I know, it was weird. It
like
was
you and Iceberg in the Hit Squad, or
Yeah, we a lot of those northern companies at the time didn't want to use us. I don't know, like Combat Zone brought us in. They tried to embarrass us, but I wasn't gonna let that shit happen. And then like 3PW wouldn't bring us in, and then once GCW started, me and Iceberg, we were pretty much done at the time.
Right.
But Nick Gage, of course, I'd like to have a one-on-one with him. I did some kind of 8-man tag against him years ago, which it was fun, but I think a one-on-one match would sell some tickets, you know. That's about the top of my list right now of those few ladies and gentlemen.
I hope Danny watches this at some point and books you and Justin Kyle. That just,
Yeah.
my heart paused just for a second because Justin Kyle is like my current like top 5, and
Oh, he's awesome.
I think that dude that would be brutal for sure.
It'd be fun.
All right, Nick. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt
I was
you.
gonna say, he is not a deathmatch wrestler at all.
No,
Beats people up. Former MMA guy, but he did a full-on deathmatch with John Wayne Murdoch, and it was incredible.
yeah.
I mean, this dude showed up. I was like, holy shit. And I got in the back, and I was like, dude, that was awesome.
That dude just like yeets people, like
Yeah.
he just throws human beings. He doesn't slam people, Robbie. I don't know if you've seen this guy. He doesn't slam you.
He
just chucks you in a general direction.
You're going that way, north.
If he wants you in this to go through this door, you're just gonna go through the door, and you might as well accept it.
Yeah, exactly.
My wife said that when he wrestled John, after the first door he put John through, my wife goes, I think he just hit John with the stop resisting. So,
Resisting. Well,
Yeah,
Nick, I know
we're
going down the last like 15 minutes. I got 2 more questions.
yeah, hit your deal, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So first off, you said you've been doing this for like 25 years. In the last, let's go back 30 years. In the last 30 years, like right around what year did you start again? 92?
96.
96. That's when they're coming out with the 3-way dances. The Royal Rumble had already been invented and everything. In the last 30 years, what do you think is the most innovative match concept that changed wrestling or made it
War Games.
Yeah,
one of my favorites. Yeah.
The first War Games in Atlanta, me and my dad went, and I was just like in awe of how awesome it was. Just seeing the cage hanging over the ring and the 2 rings, I was like, holy shit. That was just, I would say War Games would be my number 1.
The first War Game I remember, it had like Steve Dr. Death Williams. The first one I remember seeing like Steve Dr. Death Williams in it. Flair was in it. The Road Warriors were in it. I think Dusty Rhodes was in it. That's what makes me want to go watch it, actually.
Oh, yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah.
You say you had another one?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
This is my last question here. Let me see here. Yeah, people that watch wrestling, they got a lot of preconceived ideas, opinions, a lot of misinformation, especially if they're like reading stuff on the internet. If you could say anything to the wrestling fan to set them straight, if you will, what would it be?
Oh, hell, I don't know.
I know that's a very philosophical question.
Yeah, man, you're gonna make me think. Just shut up and watch the show, man.
That's good advice. I think that's pretty damn good advice, Tank.
Just shut up, watch it, and have fun. Enjoy the show. You don't have to critique every fucking thing.
Amen to that. I agree.
I wish wrestling fans could just appreciate it. I think it was somebody said it over the weekend. I think I might even said it on Twitter today. Like if everybody could have just kept that same energy we had for like 20 minutes Friday night, where it was like, let's just appreciate what's happening for a change and not cry and bitch about everything that's wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I know not everybody's a CM Punk fan, but it was one of those things that was like, it was the one time where fans were like happy and no one bitched that much.
It's good for wrestling. Whether you like him or not, it's great for wrestling, dude.
Yeah, it was definitely good for wrestling.
Yeah, I consider CM Punk a friend. I did a lot of shows with him, IWA Mid-South, and he was cool, and that shit Friday night gave me goosebumps. And it usually takes a lot to get me like, holy shit, and that was a holy shit moment.
Yeah, it was something special to watch for sure. Especially like, for wrestling fans in general, just having watched that guy be gone for so long, and then the passion he had to come back. Because so many people come back and you could tell they're just there for the paycheck.
Yeah.
He looked happy.
Yeah, I remember when Shawn Michaels came back, after like it was like how long he was gone with his back injury, and when he came back in the early 2000s, it was kind of like that for me.
Well, Tank, we're hitting almost the hour, finishing up. I know I told you before, last segment, man, I'm gonna give you full screen, let you talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you have a message to fans, a message to the boys, you want to push a show, push your social media, whatever you feel like doing, man. The stage is all yours. It has been a pleasure, an honor, and I'm so happy to have had you on the show, man.
Well, thanks for having me. I like just sitting around shooting the shit. This is just a shoot the shit session.
Yeah, man. Tank, it was really nice. Really nice talking to you tonight, man. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
You need to get a hold of the Rev. I'm sure he would love to do this.
Dude, I will. I'll message him as soon as we're done here. I had a moment when I asked you to do it originally. I was like, should I ask him and the Rev to do it at the same time?
That'd have been awesome.
Yeah, we might do that. Hey, dude, we're doing part 2 with the rejects in like a month. We might do part 2 with you and the Rev. That'd be rad.
That'd be great.
All right, man. It's all yours, brother.
I know he would. Yeah, I know I'm on. I got Hoodfoot at ICW in Michigan, October 1st, the Pit. Looking forward to that. Follow me on Twitter at tank_at1996. Facebook, my real name is Warren Hollander. I'm pretty boring. I have Instagram, but I don't know what the hell I think it's Strong Psycho or something. I never post on it. But other than that, man, just to the fans, just be a fan. Have fun. Watch the shows. Quit bitching. Enjoy it. God damn it.
Great advice, Tank.
Tank, the grumpy stepfather of independent wrestling.
Somebody said I'm the deathmatch granddaddy or some shit, and I was like, damn.
I love that. That's a gimmick, man. You need to run with it, brother.
Yeah, I am old. I'll be 51 in October, still doing this crazy shit. And to be honest with you, man, the death matches are easier on me, my body, than going out trying to do a bunch of fucking spots. It's just it's hitting me with some shit. I'm cool with that.
Real quick before I let you go, how much longer do you think you have, given that death matches are easier on you, or do you even have a timeline?
We don't really have a timeline. Me and Dan, like I said, we went to Tampa, and me getting involved with ICW was kind of a mistake because Jeff King couldn't make it, so they gave me a spot, and I was like, I'm gonna go to Tampa. I'm gonna have a couple of matches at 50 years old. I'm gonna be done, and blah blah blah. And then fucking ICW show happened, and I took the ball and ran with it. Now we're getting booked every friggin' where. I wasn't really expecting that. I was kind of like, if we do a show here and there, it'll be all right. I try not to wrestle every weekend. I know I got like a 3-week break. I try to do a couple of weeks and then take like 3 off to stay home, and chill out. Because I got a daughter getting married next month. I got a 15-year-old. Oh, thank you, and a 4-year-old who absolutely hates wrestling. She came to the SCI, and I had Creed hit me in the arm with a gusset, and I'm bleeding. I was trying to tell her, I go, no, this is just ketchup. It's fake. It's just ketchup. She's like, well, shit, no, it's not. Because she's a very smart 4-year-old. She's like, why are those little holes in your arm? I'm like, shit. That ain't gonna
the cat got a hold of me.
Yeah, the fucking cat got me.
All right, Tank, man. It has been a pleasure. I'm gonna hit up the Rev. We're gonna see if we can knock out a part 2 of this and see what all
we will definitely have to do that.
All right, man, appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Man, these guys they're deathmatchers. They're gonna come out here every week on our show, and they're gonna expose themselves as being cool, nice guys.
They're all nice dudes. I'm telling you, like John Wayne Murdoch, fucking smart, well spoken. Tank, well spoken dude. It's great. Next week, not a deathmatch guy though. Next week, old school, another Southern indie guy because that's my wheelhouse. But old friend of mine, straight out of NWA. You see him every week on Fight TV on NWA television because I just forgot the name because I'm a little slow today. But this weekend, he'll be at the NWA 73rd anniversary special. Next week, he will be on the Uncut podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeremiah Plunkett is the guest on next week's show.
Dude, do you want to know something crazy about that, dude? When
What's
I was
that?
doing my research on Tank, that's one of the matches I watched.
Jeremiah Plunkett?
Yeah, Jeremiah Plunkett versus Tank.
I love dude. Me and Jeremiah go back a very long way.
He's a husky guy.
Not anymore.
Oh, really? Okay.
Now he's fucking swole up. Go look him up
really?
on Facebook. Boy is ripped now. So
yeah.
we're gonna talk about that.
We're gonna talk about that. Definitely gonna be a great show, man.
I
Can't
feel
wait.
like next week is definitely gonna be. If you want inside jokes that no one's gonna get, next week's gonna be the week. But anyway,
I love those kind of jokes. Even if I don't get them, they're great to hear.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Uncut Podcast. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can always hear us on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
All of it, Nick.
Dude, we're everywhere, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully, Matt will be back next week. I think things are okay now. I'm not 100% positive. But, ladies and gentlemen, for Robbie Cutthroat Miller, I'm the ace, Nick White. And Robbie, how many clicks is it, Bubba?
2 clicks.